Al, I know the title of this episode is going to say something else, but I feel like the true title of this episode is Everybody Hates Naraku.
It's true.
Just nobody likes this dude.
I think that's a much better title, honestly.
God. I mean, he is a scrub, so it makes sense, but also this is very funny.
Like, literally everybody in this episode's like, oh, this guy.
Oh, man. Hello, welcome to this week's episode. Jared now watching Inuyasha is episode 81. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc, Anne Ladyem.
Hello.
This week we are watching episode 80, or season 3, episode 26, entitled Sesshomaru and the Abducted Ren, or Everybody Hates Naraku.
I think that's a much better title.
Yes.
Or Ren has a melon.
Also true. We get a little recap of what's been happening.
What's the plot?
What the plot is, yeah, I guess that's the real thing, because we've been in some filler episodes a little bit recently. And then basically we see everyone's asleep, and Inuyasha wakes up sniffing, and he's like, Naraku's around. And then Jockin goes up to Sesshomaru, like, hey, Ren got abducted, and Sesshomaru's like, interesting. And then Naraku shows up, is like, oh, if you would want the girl back, kill Inuyasha for me. And Sesshomaru's like, no. Kills the puppet.
What if I cut your head off?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go to your castle. Naraku believes he has baited Sesshomaru into coming to see him, and he thinks his plan's going to be just great, and everything's going to be a-okay.
Totally fine.
And Inuyasha and the gang are now following on Naraku's scent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ren wakes up. She has her melon still, and she remembers that she got kidnapped while holding her melon.
I love that she was unconscious and still holding onto the melon somehow.
I like the idea that Kagura kidnaps her. She passes out during the flight over there, and Kagura doesn't think to like make her get rid of the melon. She just keeps her holding the melon and places her in this building.
And also like didn't think to like put her on the feather. She just dangles her from the side while holding the melon.
Man.
But now she's back at this castle with melon.
Yeah, she's in there with Kohaku, who's there, and he's guarding her. She tries to leave, and then there's a bunch of demons outside, and it's like, Rawr! And she's like, slides, the doors closed. It's like, no, I think I'm not going to leave now.
Kohaku's like, I told you. I told you not to go out there. I love that they're just like hanging out, like all the demons are just like floating, like, hey, what up? She's like, nope.
Yeah, she starts asking Kohaku a bunch of questions, and Kohaku's just like, I don't know how to handle this. You're talking a lot. These are a lot of questions. You want to talk about trauma, I guess? I don't know.
This is the most somebody's talked to Kohaku in like a year.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, I cannot process this. You asked me so many things.
What is your name? Where are your parents? Where are you from? Do you like melons? What kind of food do you like?
How old
Why
are you
here? How old are you? And he's like, I don't know. Sesshomaru finds Naraku's castle, and he just stares at the barrier and intimidates it to open it for him.
You know, as you do.
And they go in, and Naraku meets him there, and he's like, "Oh, welcome, hello, I knew you would come."
But you don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah. Sesshomaru's just like, you realize I didn't just come here to get Ren. Like, that's not the purpose I came here for. He's like, oh, I know you came here to kill me.
Also, Ren's not here.
Oh, yeah, she's on the outskirts of my castle.
She can't survive the poison miasma.
Sesshomaru's like, cool. Anyways.
Not here for that. Anyway.
Inuyasha and the gang are still following Naraku's scent, and then Kagome is getting left behind because she's riding on her bike and they're going faster her. And then she tells them that she's spotted a sacred jewel shard off in another direction. So they split off. Inuyasha's going to go to the castle, and then the rest of them are going to go after this jewel shard.
Which I'm sure is a great idea.
Sure, yeah.
I might have just left the bike behind in the woods.
They kind of do that, yeah. So we go back to Naraku and Sesshomaru facing off. So Naraku powers up, and Sesshomaru's like, "Oh, is this your true form? You're just a bunch of reject demons." And Naraku's like, "No, I'm not even there yet." Sesshomaru's like, "Yeah, whatever, dude."
Weak.
And like he starts trying to fight Sesshomaru, and Sesshomaru's like, blah, 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 blah.
He's got those wild, googly, gaggly limbs.
Mm-hmm.
They're so long for no good reason.
Kagura figures out that Naraku's plan is that he's going to, like, dump a bunch of his
goo,
chopped off skin onto Sesshomaru and absorb him into Naraku, which is like, I don't think that's gonna work, my dude.
No.
But Naraku seems very confident in this plan.
He's very confident that it'll work.
And Sesshomaru is very confident that Naraku's a
basically, yeah. Like he grabs onto his leg at one point and he's like, really? Come on.
It's like there's one point where like Sesshomaru's just like, you realize there's not a chance that you can beat me, right? Like, which makes sense because like Sesshomaru is like one of the most powerful people in this show, and Naraku is just Naraku.
Right. Like he's a scrub baby comparatively.
Yeah. It's just very funny that he's like so confident in this plan, and Sesshomaru's like, dude, you are just the hottest of hot garbage.
You suck.
I do not care an ounce for you.
You are literally nothing underneath my shoe that I'm wearing, but my brother does not wear.
The rest of the gang are going off for the jewel shard. Kagome basically thinks that like, oh yeah, Kohaku had a jewel shard. Maybe this is Kohaku. Meanwhile, Kohaku and Ren are eating melon.
And she just pulls a melon piece out of nowhere. I was like, hey, you want
another
melon? And he's like eating the skin and everything. Like,
he's like, heck yeah, give me this melon. I love the skin of the melon.
Bro, you okay. Also hilarious that Kagome's like, oh, maybe it's Kohaku, as if like that would be the logical.
I mean, to be fair, I guess it makes sense because like they're near Naraku's castle. They know he's been taken by Naraku.
Yeah,
so
fair.
Like he's gonna be in the area somewhere,
but
most
he's
likely
a different direction than Naraku.
Right, but I guess he's still close enough that they could at least think that's the case.
Mm.
And I mean, they are correct in that.
No,
being
they
the
are.
case.
They are. All right, you're giving them the benefit of the doubt.
I am, but you know,
I can accept that. I can accept that. While he's eating
his melon and they're having trauma talks.
And she's just like somehow making more melon appear out of nowhere.
she got the infinite melon trick.
Man, I want an infinite melon trick. That's what Sesshomaru taught her how to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's the one
like,
thing he taught her.
He's like, okay, if there's one thing I need you to know, and one thing only, this is how you make infinite melons.
I mean, how else are you going to survive out there when you got to go make your own food?
No, you're right. You're right. Like he's not going to provide for her, so you know she finds one melon and she's good forever.
Mm-hmm. The gang shows up outside of the hut, and the demons are just like looking at them like, "Hey!" And then Kohaku and Rin take a peek out, and Kohaku's like, oh, "It's that woman. I can't stop thinking about her. I don't know why. Oh, my head hurts." And Rin's like, "That doesn't seem good."
No.
And then we get more Sesshomaru and Naraku fighting, and Sesshomaru just continues to body Naraku.
Yep.
And Inuyasha arrives at the barrier. And he gets there, he's like, "Oh, the scent's gone. Let me just run into this barrier and confirm a barrier's here, and then I will use the Tetsaiga to destroy it."
I think it's interesting that he tracks it by Sesshomaru's scent at this point instead of Naraku's, because he's like, huh, his scent ends here.
Maybe the scent's just more powerful for him or something.
Maybe. I mean, like, it is his literal brother.
Yeah.
So there's that. And also, you know, he can't sense Naraku's scent, but he can sense Sesshomaru's, and, you know, use what you got, I guess. Although don't run into the barrier that's going to hurt you and then use your barrier breaking sword, you dumb.
He is not a smart feller.
He is not. He's not a smart fella. I almost made a joke that my dad made, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it on this podcast.
So Naraku and Sesshomaru are still fighting, and as soon as the barrier breaks, Naraku immediately knows, like, who's broken my barrier? What is going on?
This sucks.
And he sends Kagura to find who broke the barrier, and Sesshomaru's like, "Oh, someone broke your barrier, got uninvited guest. Seems things aren't going well for you, Naraku."
Slash.
So Kagura goes out to see who it is, and she finds Inuyasha, and she's like, "Why are you here?" And Inuyasha's like, "Well, I'm come to fight Naraku because I found him and everything." And Kagura essentially the whole time is just like, oh no, don't fight me. I definitely won't get beaten easily. But the bees are watching her, so she's definitely trying to like fight, but like do it in a way that like, oh, I could easily get defeated here.
Wow. Because
But
if they win, then I'm free.
Mm-hmm. The bees basically are like, "Now we know what's up," and then some other demons show up. She's like, "All right, I'm just gonna let these guys take care of it, and then I won't have to do anything."
Have fun, kids.
And then Inuyasha defeats all these demons and everything, and then he starts running off towards Naraku and Sesshomaru, and Kagura's just like, "What if I just let these brothers beat Naraku? I would be free then. This would be a great idea. Like that sounds fantastic." Why haven't I thought of this before?
Yeah, this is a really good idea. Also, there were some really great derpy demons that were coming in the attack.
Yes.
We both had favorites.
Mm-hmm.
They both died.
But yeah, that's how the episode ends, just matter of factly.
Yeah, it was kind of abrupt.
Yes. We have one piece of notes here.
One piece of notes.
This is the first episode to be rated TV-14 on Adult Swim since episode 54.
What made it TV-14?
I don't know. I guess maybe because like there's a lot of like chopped up parts.
Bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's like little wiggly demon bits.
No, I mean you're not wrong, but
no,
like,
it's just very weird.
It's 2005, so who knows?
I'm gonna blame the infinite melon trick.
I also am gonna blame the infinite melon trick. Maybe it's just also there's a higher level of violence in this episode.
That might be the case. There's a lot of fighting in this episode.
Yeah. The last episode that was TV-14 was the episode where I guess Inuyasha learns the backlash wave.
Oh, so there's a lot of demon killing in that one too.
Yeah. I also thought maybe it was also because he says there's definitely a lot of mentions of "I will kill you" in this episode, which that probably also might up the language rating a bit. Because I know, like, back in the day, like, even prior to when Inuyasha was airing, like, they would definitely edit out that phrase in, like, certain anime. So, I wonder if that was also a case or not, but I don't know for sure, but yeah.
Was there any cursing?
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
I don't either. It's definitely the infinite melon. Don't hit my knee.
Yes. But next time, we will be discussing episode 81 or season 3 episode 27 entitled Vanishing Point, Naraku Disappears.
I guess he's probably going to disappear.
There is definitely a moment where it shows Naraku absorbing Sesshomaru into his flesh, but I feel like that moment's just going to be like Sesshomaru gets absorbed and then me just like cuts out of it. It's like, yeah, that didn't work. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, nope.
Not happening today, my dude. I mean, we know Naraku's probably not going to die or anything here because there's still like 1,000 more episodes to go.
1,000 more episodes.
But it would be very funny if that was the case. Just build him up and then he just gets just jobbed out immediately once he actually faces a big threat. But yeah, we'll talk about all that next week. But for now, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anne Ladyem, go to AnneLadyem.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup, and you can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. So join us next week as Naraku is going to disappear.